They call Portugal the land of great navigators, a place where voyages once redrew the map of the world. But here, far from the coastline, beyond the olive groves and sunburned hills of the south, there is another journey, a quieter one, the journey of earth-brown soil, of Mediterranean winds, and the ancient breath of the land itself. Here, the battles are not fought on open seas. They happen in the thickets, in the dust, in the silence between heartbeats, between man and the European wild boar. An animal born from mud and shadow, patient, stubborn, impossibly clever, with a sudden strength capable of tearing fields apart, of breaking vineyards, and shattering the peace of villages that have stood for centuries. This is not just a hunt. This is a tradition, a ritual older than memory, a place where discipline matters, where strategy, communication, and the bond between man and dog become one. And above all, where courage defines the line between triumph and failure. Out here, we're saying, where the wind grinds against limestone, where the scent of dry earth rises beneath every step. You begin to wonder, how can a wild creature command such respect? How can it make humans approach slowly, carefully, and humbly? How does a hunt become a way to protect the land, the harvest, and the traditions of a place that has endured for centuries? Neo Farm stands here to witness, to document, and to remind us this struggle is not for glory, it is for responsibility. Because sometimes to preserve peace, someone must step deeper into the forest. If hunting were a sport, then Alentejo would be its grand arena. Here, the land stretches wide and open, wild plains tinted red by ancient soil, covered with endless forests of cork oak, standing like silent guardians of time. Alentejo is not only the agricultural heart of Portugal, it is the unofficial kingdom of the wild boar. But the prosperity of the wild boar carries a quiet threat. With astonishing reproductive power and an unrelenting instinct to destroy, the boar has become an economic disaster for this region. Each night, massive sounders sweep across the fields, leaving deep scars in the cultivated earth. They tear through grain crops, vineyards, and worst of all, they devastate the cork oak forests, the backbone of Portugal's rural economy, in one of its most important exports. Millions of euros are lost every year to destroyed harvests, damaged land, and ruined infrastructure. This imbalance in nature has transformed wild boar hunting from a tradition into a critical mission, a frontline effort to protect the livelihoods of those who depend on this land. Here, the boar population is stronger than anywhere else, large enough to challenge even an entire hunting party. In a place like this, no single hunter can stand alone. This land demands strategy, coordination, and the art of hunting together. Cooperative hunting is not simply hunting. It is a military operation within nature itself, where humans stand against a population that is aggressive, intelligent, and highly adaptable. The goal is not extermination. The goal is control, to keep the boar from crossing the threshold, from turning fields of wheat, grapes, and olives into wasteland. To achieve that, you need more than a rifle and a pull of the trigger. Cooperative hunting requires the coordinated precision of an entire system. The coordinator, who carries the terrain map in his mind. The line hunters, positioned in a sweeping arc, holding the strategic perimeter. The dog handler, leading the spearhead of sound, breaking the silence of the forest. And the pack of hunting dogs, small warriors, fearless, relentless, never retreating. Every movement is calculated. Every gap between positions matters. If even one person falls out of rhythm, the advantage shifts. And suddenly, it is the hunter who becomes the hunted. That is why a collective hunt is never chaotic. It is serious, disciplined, rooted in tradition, and justified by necessity. And in that moment, with the dogs echoing across the hillside, with the forest floor stirring beneath careful footsteps, you realize you are witnessing an ancient confrontation. Civilization on one side, wild instinct on the other. The coordinated hunt begins with a horn call echoing through the trees, clear, commanding, solemn, like the signal of an ancient campaign. The goal is not trophies. The purpose is to ease the pressure placed upon the herdades, the vineyards, the olive groves, the farmlands that have sustained generations of life here. Within the formation, the guardians, the montadores, are the decisive marksmen. They are stationed at strategic choke points, narrow ravines, oak-shaded trails, and the valleys where the javali will almost certainly attempt to flee. They stand motionless, in complete silence, because a single careless breath, a single misplaced sound, could alert the boar from a distance far beyond sight. For the guardian, the moment comes only once, and when it comes, the decision must be swift, clean, exact, like lightning cutting through the dry, heated air. The survival principle of cooperative hunting lies in judgment and absolute precision. When the wild boar emerges, it is not merely fast, it explodes. One charge, one sudden change of direction, muscle packed beneath a hide of armor, enough to make the ground itself tremble. In that moment, the guardian cannot worry, cannot hesitate. They have only one chance. This is the golden moment, when the animal cuts across the sightline and crosses the boundary marked long before the hunt began. Only at that point is the hunter permitted to pull the trigger. Not earlier, not later, because a single misplaced shot does more than let the boar escape. It can injure it, enrage it, and turn the hunter into the one facing danger. And all of this unfolds in only a few seconds. From the first echo of the bangs to the rustle of leaves ahead, to the dark arrow-shaped silhouette of the javali streaking past your vision, every decision must happen as fast as a single breath. No one gives the order. No one calls the timing. There is only experience, judgment, and a trigger hand shaped by years. In cooperative hunting, victory or failure is not decided by luck. It is decided in that brief, unforgiving moment, when a human stands face to face with the raw force of the wild. Not every hunt calls for a full formation. There are times, at first light or as the sun sinks behind the limestone hills, when a different tactic takes the lead. Ambush, the silent hunt. If cooperative hunting is a military campaign, loud in its coordination and disciplined in its movement, then ambush is its silent counterpart. A confrontation in absolute stillness between one person and a creature moving quietly through the darkness of the forest. Here, there are no calls, no dogs driving the herd, only breath, the soft rustle of leaves, and the cold, waiting air holding its silence for what is about to happen. The hunter must read time, read the wind, read the path of the fading light, because the wild boar will appear only for a brief, fragile moment, caught between two worlds, day and night, safety and danger, silence and eruption. Here, psychology becomes the primary weapon. Strength is no longer found in horn calls or coordinated formations, but in patience, inner discipline, and the ability to remain calm in the instant before contact. Ambush hunting asks a quiet question: who will yield first? And sometimes it is the waiting itself that becomes the true battle. This is a game of patience, a slow dance with destiny, wrapped in the silence of a world that barely stirs. It is a test of character, an artful blend of instinct and strategy, but more than that, it is about the golden moment, that fleeting span of time when everything aligns, when the universe, in all its wild and untamed glory, holds its breath just long enough for you to slip through. The wild boar, a creature forged in the fires of ancient survival, knows this time well. It appears only in those rare, almost mythical moments, when the world is still half-formed in the dim awe of dawn, or when the sun sinks below the horizon, bleeding out into a hazy canvas of orange and violet. It is in this brief window, this slice of time, that the true nature of the hunt is revealed. Here, the stakes are not about who can pull the trigger faster, nor who possesses the sharper aim. The real challenge lies in disappearing, in becoming nothing at all. In this game, strength is not defined by muscle or weapon, but by the capacity to vanish. The hunter must erase his very presence from the world. Every sound must be silenced. Every movement, no matter how slight, must be swallowed by the surrounding wilderness. His silhouette should be as if it were never drawn. Above all else, his scent, his very essence, must be hidden. The forest has no tolerance for foreign traces, not even the faintest waft of a human presence. To outwit the boar, the hunter must choose a position against the wind. The slightest breeze is a gift, carrying away his scent, dispersing it into the wilderness until the earth itself claims him as one of its own. The wind becomes a silent partner, a guide. Because in the world of the wild boar, even a trace as thin as a wisp of smoke, a single hint of human odor, is enough to set off alarms. The boar's nose is a finely tuned instrument of survival, and if it senses the faintest disturbance, it shifts its course, disappearing into the shadows as though it had never been there in the first place. In this hour, the world is not sharply defined. The light that spills through the trees is soft, unclear, like the edges of a fading memory. Every moment becomes fragile, imbued with meaning. The hunter's vision can no longer be relied upon alone. Instead, he must attune himself to the forest rhythm, listening for the faintest sounds, the rustle of a leaf falling softly to the ground, the faint crunch of soil compressed under a careful step, or the barely audible stir of life near the bebeduros, the watering holes, or the places where the boar roots in search of food. Every shift in the forest is a whisper, a secret message that only the truly aware can hear. This is not a hunt as most people would understand it. Ambush is not a battle of flesh and blood with the animal. It is, first and foremost, a battle with the self. It is a solitary confrontation with one's own mind, body, and spirit, a test of focus and endurance before one ever faces the boar itself. The question that rises in that moment, the only one that truly matters, is this: who will hold out the longest? Who will be able to outlast the forest's grasp and the boar's keen instincts? Because in the end, the hunter and the hunted are not so different. The forest tests them both, and only one will leave the arena unscathed. This version maintains the essence of the original while expanding on the themes of patience, self-mastery, and the subtle, almost meditative nature of the hunt. It adds more imagery and depth to the connection between the hunter, the boar, and the environment. Hunting wild boar in Portugal is not only about controlling a species to protect agriculture. It is a journey to preserve a legacy, a balance between respecting the power of the wild and upholding the responsibility of safeguarding the land and its economy. Every shot fired is a statement of skill, discipline, and a hunter's deep connection to nature, ensuring that the growth of the boar population never becomes a burden greater than the land or the people can bear. Here, these skills do not come from books. They are passed from father to son, from one generation to the next, like a vow to the soil that raised them. They are not just hunting wild boar, They are hunting precision, calm, perfection and strategy. And that is what turns wild boar hunting here into legend, a shield that protects rural life. If you believe that the stories of land, of tradition, and of the people who protect them deserve to be told, then walk with us. Neo Farm.